Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So I have to make another video about what's going on in the internet. Elie Seckbach makes a video last night. I had a chance to listen to it last night. I subscribed to his channel, as probably most of you guys do as well. And I was kind of taken back. You know how you have that moment when you realize Santa Claus isn't real? The tooth fairy is really your mother or father? I'm sitting there like, I'm confused. Not because he disagrees with All Lives Matter or Black Lives Matter, but how he went about his approach. First, obviously I'm going to say a disclaimer. I mean, I always say I have a family and I have a weekend family. My weekend family is my boxing family. I have, any given weekend, I'll talk to Elie 10 times in a weekend. We're always doing group interviews together. He and I have been great together. I mean, I've never had an issue with him. He came and covered the documentary I did on Floyd Mayweather and Sam Watson, which will be out next year, guys. A lot of you guys have been inquiring about it. We're just, we're just trying to find the right moment. We're trying to align it with Floyd Mayweather's career and when and if he's coming back, so we can parlay that, so you guys know. But I consider Elie one of the hardest working men in boxing. You know what I mean? In terms of reporting, right? But what he said about the Black Lives Matter movement and T.I. First of all, Elie, you have to pick a fight. You can't fight three fronts. It's like World War II, right? You can't fight multiple fronts because you're going to be thin, right? And that's kind of what that was one of the downfalls of Hitler, right? He had too many fronts, and America and the Jewish allies had too many soldiers, so they could not sustain all those fronts, right? So moving forward, you can't call T.I. an imbecile, terrible. I'm paraphrasing what he's saying because I'm not quoting him, but that doesn't coincide with your disagreement of All Lives Matter. Whatever he and Floyd had in the past with Tiny, T.I., and Floyd Mayweather, that's them. That's not your problem. That doesn't even deserve to be in this discussion. In part two, you can't call T.I. an imbecile or ignorant because he disagrees with you. And what I mean by disagrees with you, he stated his stance in I thought, an eloquent way, and I would say more eloquent than you did, because Elie, you came off on an emotional tirade. There was no. You're a reporter, right? There were no substantial facts, substantial data that proclaims that T.I. is ignorant, right? T.I. is not a millionaire. If you're reporting, this is a response to you. So I don't really. I'm not going to get into the statistical data and what may have you. And I know of Floyd Mayweather and T.I. I know why it started, when it started, but that doesn't deserve to be in public air because T.I. hasn't made public, and Floyd Mayweather has yet to make it public. So I'm not going to go there with that. But what I am going to say is, Elie, when someone say all lives matter versus someone saying Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter came into an existence because unarmed black men were being murdered by police officers. And when we live in a society where there's systemic racism going on a daily occurrence, reoccurring, we have to take a stand, right? Now, I would say you would call, in your lifetime, you have called Muhammad Ali the greatest boxer of all time, right? He is not the greatest fighter of all time because he was the best in the ring. If I'm not mistaken, he was 58 or 57-5. Correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere in there. And he lost his last fight to Trevor Berbick, if I'm not mistaken. So he was not the greatest after that. After his prime, he was not the greatest. So he lost to Larry Holmes, Spinks, and what may have you. So he is the greatest for his stance outside the ring. And when you take a stand outside the ring, you're going to rub people the wrong way. Okay. How you move people is you take money out of their pockets. Muhammad Ali did a great job at taking money out of his pockets, out of America's pockets. Martin Luther King did a great job with the Montgomery boycott, taking money out of the systemic racism's cash cow of money, right? So if you would have did this video in the 60s, you would say the same thing about Muhammad Ali. You would say the same thing about Jim Brown. You would say the same thing about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then Lou Alcindor. So understand what you're saying. You can't call people, because people that believe in Black Lives Matter, and I'm a huge advocate of that. I just left a Black Lives meeting this past Sunday night. It's not we don't like black people. We're trying to heighten the awareness. Black Lives Matter is a pro-black movement to enlighten, not to separate. When I was at the Black Lives Matter meeting, there was 100 out of the 100% that was there, I would say 30% was non-black, between Mexicans and whites, Indians, whatever you may be. It was 70% black, right? Well, I disagree with Floyd Mayweather when he says all lives matter, right? And I have the most to lose, right? Me disagreeing with Floyd, I have the most to lose. I have a potentially $1 million product in my hands right now with Floyd Mayweather's name attached to it. And he hugged me and he said thank you. He loved the project. And I would consider us acquaintances, right? Not really close friends like him and Harlem Boy. And I would say Elie has deeper entrenched than he. I just know I'm very close to the PBC and what may have you. But I want to be clear. You cannot combine how you feel about T.I. and his stance on all Black Lives Matter. Elie, I suggest that you sit down, right? Maybe you getting the news is different than you reporting the news. You giving the news, right? Right? Investigative reporting or commentary. Because I thought it was just an emotional tirade, like at the end of your video when you say all the extremists, I'm paraphrasing you, are pretty much dumb. No, we're not dumb. We have to fight, and we have to enlighten people like you. You may disagree with what we're doing. You have the right to disagree with what we're doing. But you can't call us nimbusos, ignorant, dumb. I don't believe Elie to be a racist. That's one thing I don't. I was having a conversation with another reporter. He has never exhibited that to me. Never in a million years. I give him knuckles because it's hard to shake hands when you got a camera in your hand and you're doing an interview. I give everybody knuckles, and he moves forward. And his staff, I believe, the young lady that works with him, I believe she's Russian. I believe his other reporter is Mexican, and I think Elie is Jewish. So, I mean, his staff is the United Nations of America. You know what I mean? So I am yet, but I'm going to have a conversation with Elie. The next time I will probably see him is the Manny Pacquiao fight. I'll get up there Thursday, and me and Elie is going to have a talk. Because I need him to understand the other side of the coin. I think he doesn't fully understand the other side of the coin. This ain't no Sergey Kovalev incident where I believe Sergey Kovalev to be a racist. I think Elie just fully does not understand. I simply believe he doesn't understand. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt right now until I have a conversation with Elie. And I have his phone number, but I'm not going to call him because not because out of dismay. And I think he and I should have a conversation just in person. You know what I mean? And we spoken through text and email. I considered Elie a part of my weekend family, my boxing family. I really don't have there's no one I really don't like besides the UCN crew, as you guys know. And I was sitting at this video just flabbergasted. I disagree with Floyd, but I've invested so much capital in Floyd, protecting him over the years with my articles, my videos, that I have an affinity for Floyd because he is our black hero. And I know he's everyone's hero, but to me, he beat the system, right? Like when you finally, apples and oranges example, but you guys know it, you guys can feel what I'm talking about. As a kid, when you played Miss Pac-Man, and you finally, it took you $10,000, right, through the course of your childhood to beat Pac-Man. But when you finally go to that pizzeria, right, and you finally get that extra man, then you finally get to the red board, then you finally get to the yellow stage, and you finally get to where the ghosts are moving 200 miles a second, and you finally beat the game. You're sitting there like, damn, I did it. That's how I feel about Floyd Mayweather. He beat the system. He beat Bob Arum. And I applaud him. $800 million man. And I love him for that. I love that he beat the system and he did it his way. Now, what I will suggest to Floyd Mayweather is that we need his platform. As the Black Lives Matter movement, as just being black in general, we know that we have been oppressed for over 400 years, right? And counting. I mean, it's just to give you guys an idea. They have to sign every 25 years, I believe, 25 or 35 years, they have to sign the Voters Act of 1965 so that blacks can vote in America. It is not a part of the Constitution. So we have to fully understand both sides of the coin. That's why I was saddened when I heard Floyd, man. And this wasn't the first time he said anything negative, but when someone is your hero, you give them the benefit of the doubt. Like Ray Lewis, he's my emotional hero. Like whenever I go on an 8 to 10 mile run, I'll listen to Ray Lewis talk to the Stanford basketball team at the NIT. You know, I'll listen to Ray Lewis give his speech at the U. I'll listen to those speeches because it gets me motivated. And Floyd got me motivated. You know, I've won money on Floyd betting. I bet Floyd Mayweather fights blind. You know, but getting back to Elie, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But I just think you were highly disrespectful to the cause. I thought you were extremely disrespectful to T.I. I think you're exceptionally disrespectful to his wife, because his wife doesn't need to be brought up in an issue like this. It's like us bringing up your girlfriends, right? Which that has no bearing on what's going on. I know your girlfriend to be a beautiful girl. Like, she's very calm, she's very graceful. I would not bring that up. So I think investigative reporting may not be for you, Elie, because you get emotionally involved. And it's okay to be emotionally involved, like how I'm emotionally invested in the success of Floyd Mayweather in terms of him being a black man and outworking a Bob Arum and other white entities or non-black entities in the sport of boxing. But being disrespectful, calling us ignorant, dumb, because when I see T.I., I see myself. Okay, when I look at Floyd Mayweather, I see myself. So that's why I'm invested. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, Elie. I'm going to talk to you first, and I'm going to do a review on the conversation that we have. And we'll talk. I can't wait to talk to you in person. I have a strike, so I got to cut this video short. But Barbershop Conversations, that's just my synopsis. I know you guys have probably seen the video. If not, I'll put the link in the description box so you guys can watch it. But you know, I had that moment with Santa Claus isn't real. I didn't think. I mean, he can disagree and say all lives matter because he and I don't have the same starting point in life. So I don't mind explaining to non-black people or people that are not in support of Black Lives Matter and explaining to him our plight and our fight. That's fair. I don't mind that. I have white friends from college, and I have a white friend in my accountability team, and we talk every third Sunday. So Barbershop, I gotta go. I got 10 seconds. Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.